Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good afternoon to all of you. In this video, I'm going to go over the questions that were asked after the talk the other day, right? I think there are 7 questions. So I'll go briefly through each of them. I may not be able to provide a full answer for all the questions, but where I can, I will suggest uh, materials, reading materials that you can look up, that you can refer to if you want to explore the topic further or the question further, right? So let's begin. This is the first question. To what extent our faith systems and moral values acknowledge our detrimental impacts to Earth and other species sharing a planet? I think this question was I managed to answer this question partly um, after the talk, but I have reflected further upon this question, and I think uh, it boils down to how religion intersects with human exploration of outer space. I think there are several major points here. The first one is that religions do supply answers about who we are. I mean, if we accept that the most important question about human space exploration is why do we need to go to space, which is related to the question of who we are as human beings and what our duties are here on earth, then of course religion can help us answer that question, because religion guides us or gives a a worldview of who we are as human beings, right? Of our origins, of our uh, future, right? Of our fates. So, religion, in the sense that it answers big questions, right? Those big questions can help shape what we should and should not do once we are in space, right? So that is the first one. Religion supplies answers about who we are, right? The second one, religion also supplies answer about our duties to the environment, right? What duties or what obligations do we owe to animals, to plants, to even to the environment, to the non-living environment around us, in the sense that uh, if religion establishes that human beings are meant to be stewards, right, of this universe. I mean, the universe does not belong to us, but we are sent here for a temporary period of time during which we are supposed to take care of the environment. Then obviously that will influence uh, how we should treat the things we find in outer space, right? So religion supplies answers about what our duties are to the environment, and including outer space, right? Because we might find life in outer space, or we might not find. Even if we do not find life in outer space, we still have a duty to protect and preserve, the celestial bodies that we encounter, right? So religion can give input to that. The third one, and this is apa? Uh, this is a big discussion as well. To what extent religion itself will be affected by the human adventure into outer space, right? Especially our rituals. Some the some religious rituals, not some most religious rituals are very earth based, right? We pray to a certain direction, we go to a certain place, right? We pray at a certain time, right? So all this is very earth based, right? How will these rituals change once human beings ventured out into space, right? Will they have to change, right? So that's the first point. The second point is about religious beliefs, right? Certain religions believe that certain historical figures have delivered religious teachings, you know? I.e., they believe that in the past they were prophets and messengers that were sent to guide mankind, right? They live in a particular place in a particular time, okay, and they brought religious teaching to certain groups of people, right? So if there is life elsewhere in the universe, or if human beings in the future were born in a particular planet far, far away from Earth, then does the same religious belief still hold over them, right? Um, is it still relevant to talk about the religious teachings propagated by certain historical figures who lived on Earth, right? Uh, if you were born elsewhere, right? If you are born outside the Earth, or if you're an alien species who, if who have not heard of humankind before, right? So how will our religious belief and religious rituals change when we venture out into space? Okay, and then the fourth one is what does religion have to say about the possibility of life in outer space, right? Um, and I think for most religions, they are quite open-minded to that possibility, right? Because they can always argue that should life exist in outer space, then that merely adds to the glory and to the power of God. Right? God is all powerful. He can create whatever life that He wants, wherever He wants. Right? So the fact that the universe is populated with life, not just on Earth, um, could be taken as proof that God is almighty and all powerful, right? Basically, this was the argument that was used by theologians in the during the Middle Ages when they were discussing about whether it is possible for for God to populate other planets with life or not, right? So there is a history of that discussion in religion, in the history of religions, right? um, and then if should there be life in outer space, right? Then the final question is, what are their beliefs? Do they have their own religions, right? How will their religions differ from us, right? Or is there some cosmopolitan religion that all life in this universe sort of subscribe to, right? How would their rituals differ from us, right? So these are some of the questions uh, concerning religion and outer space, right? So it's not just about what does religion say about how should we behave in space, but also religion itself as a as a belief system, as a set of rituals, can also be impacted by the discovery of life in outer space, or when man steps out into outer space.